All right, I'm going to try to go slower with this project or this video. I do misspeak a lot because I'm older. Uh, I'm going to show you, or basically tell you how I programmed this, whatever it is. It's a digital receiver. The name of it, I always keep forgetting. Malahit. Okay, let's call it Malahit. All right, so I bought this on eBay. It's a Christmas/birthday gift. I bought it not to reprogram it, not to play with it, only in the fact that I'm going to sit at night, the last few hours of the night, and dick around with it, go up and down the bands looking for different frequencies and stuff. And it's handheld. I've been working on getting all the noises out of my house, and I wanted to use this as a spectrum analyzer. All right, didn't go the way I expected. I overpaid for it. It's from a Chinese vendor from California on eBay. Tech support comes every 24 hours from China. I emailed them. They didn't read my email. They just gave me, "We're sorry your product didn't work. Please tell us what's wrong with it." Bullshit. Okay? They're just stretching it out. So I told the guy, I'm going to give him a bad review to go along with all the other bad reviews he has. Well, anyway, in his ad on eBay, this thing was supposed to be totally loaded for $127. Well, it wasn't. It came loaded with a demo software, which was extremely limited. In other words, you could turn on and you could do FM stations and AM stations. You couldn't do CW or upper or lower sideband. Everything's dead on it, basically. It's just the mere minimum. And it's Chinese software that's in there. All right. Everybody else is using Russian software. So I basically have a brick. Oh, and if you send it back, in his ratings, it says he takes the thing back but never gives the money back. And yet, eBay leaves them on there. Okay? I don't know how. I don't know. Okay? But here it is. Okay? Now, let me switch it on. Just to show you where I got to. Click. Notice that? That's what you want to see. It's fully loaded. To a certain date. Okay, now to turn it off, there's the button on the side, turned it on. We hold it for 3-4 seconds till she shuts off. It does Morse code. That's the real software. Now, how do you get the new software in? If you bought one of these, it's basically a brick. You bought it from eBay. If from China, they tell you to send it back. It costs more to send the thing back than the thing is actually worth. So you're kind of stuck with a brick. Now, if you go on the internet, there's a manual that's been translated from Russian to English. And at the very end of that manual, it tells you how to reprogram this unit. Now, I'm going to now tell you all the problems I had. First of all, Windows last week wouldn't do the camera. I had to reload. It knocked out my unzip, my ARG or whatever it is, RAR. I wasn't able to undo packets of data that was compressed. My printer went down. So in between playing with this nonsense, I had to reload my printer program. Now the printer program on HP, they basically hide the program and that they want you to load this other package which wants to change you to Chrome and all. So I dug through that, got that working. Oh, my Norton went big. When I had to reload Norton started trying to sell me LifeLock. It was just a nightmare. I'm sitting there, I'm trying to get into reprogramming this thing, hoping that it's going to work. They would only work for FM broadcasts. Well, this radio has another problem in it. Besides the software was so bad, unusable, it doesn't receive AM. It receives a few FM stations. That's it. So this thing has a front-end problem around the area or wherever. I will work on it. I have to download the schematics. But I want to tell you what you go through. Now, in the manual, at the end, it tells you to install programs, okay? And basically, it's DfuSe is the program, DfuSe. And there's a demo program, and there's a management program, okay? Now, the first thing you're going to find is you have to open this up and you have to look at the chip to see if it's programmable. And most likely it's going to be. Let me show you what's written on the chip. You can find all this online. They show a picture of this chip here. This is what it reads. It's got to have the V on here, on the chip, not a Y. If it's a Y, you have to program the camera with a microprocessor programmer. If it's got the V, you can use this program I'm talking about. And I'll say the name again. Okay? DfuSe, demo. Okay? And that's what everybody tells you to install. So you install it. Now, when you go to use your USB cable that came with this unit, it might not see it because you need a driver. Now the driver is sitting in the program. Let me get the full name of the actual program here. I'm really tired this morning. I haven't slept good. All right, it's the DFSE demo program, but there's another part. First you click on previously extension. You know, when you try to find something. Well, anyway, there's two sections to the program, and one of them is the management, and then that allows you to take a hex program. You'll go on the internet and you'll find programs to update this radio so it has full menu and everything, okay? And it's going to be a hex file. And they tell you to put it in this DfuSe program. Well, it's not going to work. The DFSU, let's call it DfuSe program. The DfuSe program has been upgraded so it won't convert the hex file for you. You'll be pulling your hair out, okay? I thought it had to do with my Windows 10, so I put it on this. I don't know if this is on my laptop. Didn't work. I've gone through this before. Sometimes it's a DLL file that's missing. I went through it with this thing. Okay, I went through it with the Arduino stuff. All right, so I got some experience with this bullshit. So I can't get it to, first I can't get the driver to load. And if you put this radio in DFU mode, which you hold in the volume control. Remember, the volume control goes up and down, but you can also click it in. You click it in, you plug this into the computer through the cable, and then you push the on switch. Now you're in DFU mode. The computer will recognize it, but it might need a driver. The driver is hiding in a directory in the management part of the computer. Now let me just look at, I can't pull it up. All right. Anyway, you got to learn how to do this. So anyway, Windows can't find it in that thing, so you have to copy that directory to desktop, and then you'll see the driver in there. You go into Windows, deep into Windows, you find the directory that it's under STM devices. All right, STM device. That's the name of the main company. And you go in there and you'll see the drivers, and you bring them over and put them on the desktop, and then you go into your device driver, and you point it there, and it loads it. Windows loads it in. Then you're all set now, but have the receiver open so you can disconnect the battery, because you need the battery disconnected when you program it. No one tells you that, but this model needs the battery disconnected. When you finally get it all working, it's going to look like it's loading, but then when you pull everything down and shut down, the radio still has the same program in it. Okay, and what it is, it's sending the program to the radio, but it's not taken because the radio is in DFU mode, but the battery's on, and that prevents it from, I guess, rebooting or going to location 000. God only knows. I'm not a great software guy. Well, anyway, you got the drivers loaded. You put this in DF. You hold in the volume control. You plug the cable in. You hear through your speakers. You hear it connect. You push the volume control, the on/off switch on, and the radio goes dark. All right. Now, if everything was great, you take your DfuSe file, that you converted in the management program, and it all works. Okay, and you put your battery back on. But that's not what's going to happen to you. Okay, you're going to go on the internet and you're going to find the hex file, and it's in the RAR file. And when you go to run it through the DfuSe Manager file, DFU file manager, it's going to come back and say unable to retain grab image file or whatever, and you're going to go crazy like I did. And I go reading. As soon as it don't work, I go reading. I know I'm going to find somebody else that has the same problem at that moment that I did. So I find another one. The guy goes, I can't get the program to work. Another guy goes, yeah. He goes, these old hex files will only work with the older DfuSe program. The new DfuSe programs don't acknowledge the old hex files. So I said, oh, great. So I'm kicking around. All of a sudden, I find this guy really going into it. I tried this, I tried that, I tried this. And finally, a guy took pity on the guy. And he took a hex file and he put it in an archive, the hex file itself, and he converted it to DfuSe, a DFU. Okay? So I saw that, I downloaded that, I opened the DfuSe file up, and I proceeded to follow the instructions, and it went. But then when I switched out, nothing. Okay? And I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know, I go reading and reading and reading. And somewhere someone mentioned if the radio's never been programmed before, you got to disconnect the battery. So I said, you know what? Oh, and you got to be able to get out of DfuSe mode too, or the receiver will be dead. And the only way to get out is disconnect the battery and reconnect the battery. Or in the program itself, you can leave DfuSe mode or DFU mode before you, and then the radio comes back on while it's hooked to the computer, even though there's no battery in it. So I think about that. I said, all right, let me open the radio up. And I disconnected the battery. I hooked the cable up. I went back into DFU mode or DfuSe mode. And I reloaded the program, and it totally was different. As it was loading, I pushed the verify button. Down at the bottom, there's two boxes, verify, and the one that makes it load faster by taking FFFs out, okay? Click those two. It's loading, it's loading. It's looking totally different. It's erased and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, it comes back. Fine, it's done. So I DfuSe mode, and the radio comes on, and the back screen on the radio will want a code, okay? And you now have the better software loaded, and you need a code to turn the radio on. So you have a set of numbers across the top, and there's a website where you put them numbers in, and they're hex numbers, or they're regular numbers, put them in. No, wait, they're hex numbers, yeah. And you have to turn the scroll wheel, and the scroll wheel moves up and down and changes the number in hex. Then you hit the enter button, it moves over to the next one, the next one. Then when you get them all in, you press the bottom scroll thing in. You don't turn it, you press it in and hold it. And all of a sudden the radio comes up and it's initialized, okay? But you got to find it would be something like FW1, FW _1 10b.dfu. That's the file you actually need to upgrade it to where I've got mine. There's other files on the internet, and I want a device code. Let me just look at one thing real quick here. I found several on the forums. You have several people trying to help other people. I know I wrote that down. No, it's different. Okay. Pretty interesting. Well, anyway, so you got to find that website. And I can't give you the name of the website because if a lot of people start hitting that website from me in other words, I put a reference on YouTube of this guy's website. And then everybody's going to be going from YouTube over there, and he can tell where they're coming from. And he might shut down. One of the other websites was up Monday, and it has shut down. The interest in these radios is dying. There's a Facebook page that tells you about the Chinese and what they've done with these things and how they're cheating people. I knew right away when that guy said to me, Well, tell me what your problem is. Meanwhile, it's right in the email he's replying to. I knew he's a scam artist, okay? And they'll plead, oh, we don't speak English. They're scam artists, okay? Went through the same thing with this. Send it back. $12, send it back. Cost me more aggravation to send it back. Had the crappiest software in there because they load software in to make it work, and then they sell it for the better unit. But it's got the worst software in there. It's got old software in it. And that's what this was. Okay? Now, all I have to do is figure out what's wrong with this now. I got to get the schematics and go through it and see if there's a bad solder joint, a bad part. And it's really tiny in there. It's all surface mount. I might end up having a brick. But I just wanted to tell you, if you start trying to reprogram this and you pull your hair out, like I said, the DfuSe program has been updated, and it doesn't handle the old hex file. See, it takes a hex file, and then it converts it to a DfuSe file. And then you can load the DfuSe file into this radio. And the reason it's a hex file, I guess that's what the programmer puts out. Okay? But the radio won't take a hex file, it takes the DfuSe file. Yeah, there's a lot of the little conversion utilities too. If you're into programming, you say, oh, this is a piece of cake. All right, but make sure you have that driver installed, because when you plug the radio in DfuSe mode, it'll beep like Windows is fine. And when you go in the device manager, you'll see there's a little yellow triangle in there. And then you click on that and then tell it to install. And I'm telling you, the driver is in the DfuSe Manager. It's in the STM micro or whatever it is, so STM device directory. It's you got to get really into this. Now, you got to remember, I'm only a few months away from 70 years old. My life's been an uphill struggle with all this crap, okay? I love electronics. I love radios. But I always seem to fall in a rabbit hole. I just sitting there, and one day I said, let me order one of those radios. It's I didn't buy anything for my Christmas for myself. My birthday's coming. I bought this thing. I pictured myself sitting at the end of the night, scanning up and down the band, just picking up some signals, using it to locate noises in the house, which I got a pretty good handle on that now. It's like a spectrum analyzer. You put it on a station that's got a problem, and you can actually see a graph of the station. And you could, as you walk closer to the noise source, that's how it should boot up. All right, see the spectrum analyzer? All right. So in other words, as you tune around the station, there's static. Right now it's static, and this thing gets static without the antenna on it. Something's really serious on it. And then when you shut this thing off, it does code. The demo did nothing. The demo was pathetic. But I think that's it. I lost 3 nights of sleep over this stupid thing. But at least I got the new software in there, and now it's just a matter of fixing it. And, just send it back. Yeah, you send it back to the guy. Now he's got the radio. He's going to resell it to some other sucker, and he's not going to give you your money back. And to send it back, it's going to cost you money. They're not going to give you that money. Okay? And this guy's got a whole bunch of negatives on eBay, and he's still in eBay. Now, I could take out my time of the day to go over and say to eBay, this is your problem. You're allowing this. But you know what? It's all about money. Okay, as long as he keeps selling a lot of stuff and making eBay a lot of money, they look the other way. And like I said, on Facebook, there's actually a forum about this radio, about the vendors from China on eBay. The whole thing. This is a Russian idea. I didn't know. I sort of knew some of the stuff. I said, buy the thing fully loaded so you don't buy it and then sorry you didn't upgrade it. Anyway, $127, and it came with demo software. And the guy who sold it is an absolute moron or a crook, whatever way you want to look at it. All right, good luck with this. Please don't ask me any questions, okay? You got to dig through this yourself. You bought the radio. It's sort of your problem. I helped you about as much as I can. When you load that DfuSe software in there, the demo is going to work to put the file in. If you can find the file on the internet and look in the different conferences, and you'll see a guy says, I'm not used to uploading files, but here, try these files. And then it's going to be a hex file and a DfuSe file. Okay? And the DfuSe file is all you need to upgrade the radio. And don't forget to disconnect the battery when you're doing it. And if you get stuck in DfuSe mode, you know, you press the scroll button in and then hit the on/off power supply button. This is going to go into DfuSe mode. You can't get it back out with just the radio. You got to go back into software and then get back out. I think that's it. All right, that's it.